All righty.
Captain, you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
No, go right
Occupy
ahead.
San Diego.
Oh, great for you. Good for you.
This
Thank
one of
you.
the Amarillo guys that got kicked off the Greyhound bus.
Oh, I heard about that. I didn't read about it. I heard it through rumor.
It was not fun.
It is not a rumor.
But
This guy's
you're the captain.
Confirmed it then, sort of.
You're the captain that was arrested in New York City, right?
Correct.
That the famous video went out everywhere, and I'm just curious. So, sort of for the folks down in San Diego, what inspired you to join Occupy? What made you want to be a part of it when you see the other men in blue completely disassociating themselves?
Because even though I retired 8 years ago from the Philadelphia Police Department, I moved upstate in New York with my wife to get away from all this corporate nonsense, and we live a very self-sufficient lifestyle up there. But in learning about this movement on the internet, I realized these people, this is finally a movement that's come about that I have got to be part of. And that you guys inspired me. Your commitment, living in Zuccotti Park, it was so strong to me. It just inspired me. It was like a magnet. It just pulled me down to help you out. And then the second inspiration you gave me was the demonstration at Wall Street when the police were taking away the demonstrators for civil disobedience. But I saw all of these young people being arrested and taken away just 2 days after the raid on Zuccotti Park. And to me, that told me, here again, just 2 days later, they're willing to risk their personal welfare. Who knows what will happen to them outside the view of the cameras. They're also willing to give up their personal freedom. And that, I just spontaneously dropped my sign and went out there, sat down, and committed civil disobedience. Again, due to your inspiring me, I had to show solidarity with you.
How do you feel about some of the tactics the police have taken throughout the different occupations and the beatings and the macings and such?
Totally unnecessary, unless they were being met with force, okay? But if they're not being met with force, and from the video I saw, it could have been handled differently. Here's the main reason. All of these takeovers of the parks, they were planned takeovers. When you have a planned event, you have as much time as you want to make the best plan possible to avert these riots. And a riot should only happen if there's a spontaneous eruption by a crowd. Like here, okay? If there's a spontaneous riot here of all these people, it could get ugly, okay? But they knew they were going to dismantle that park. And yet that was the best plan they could come up with? Nah. They came up with that plan because they were not that good. The mayor, and this is the mayor, by the way, Mayor Bloomberg approved of this plan. He put a stamp on it. And after he approved it, it went through. And to look at that and see that there would be violence. There's no way there would not be violence. And to take the property from people. People had laptops, computers, sleeping bags. It doesn't even matter what it was. It could be a charm, a lucky charm that they valued. You just do not steal property from people and not give them a property receipt for them to recover it later.
How long are you staying in D.C. for the event?
I came in last night. I'll be here tonight, and I'll be leaving tomorrow.
What do you hope to accomplish out of this event in D.C. here?
What I hope to accomplish is to inspire people back, just like you've inspired me, and hopefully some mainstream America will view this, and it just may make them think, whoa, wait a minute, let me see what this captain has to say. Maybe he has a point. Instead of dismissing it outright, like corporate media is having them do.
If there was one thing you would say to people who are afraid of the police for, some of the actions that they have taken, maybe to reassure them or whatnot, what would you say?
I would say, number one, don't be shouting things at them that rile them up. There's no, I don't see any, I understand the frustration. I understand the anger. But I don't see in shouting, all kind of derogatory terms at them helping the movement. Although it's totally understandable. You're so frustrated. And you worked within the system. We elected Obama. And what did he do? Okay? So he betrayed us. And so working within the system showed us that it doesn't work also. So I understand that frustration. But also, if you're ever involved, do not become physical with the police. You will not win. You will just come out worse. Just, if they're going to arrest you, be arrested, and realize that when you go to a demonstration. If not, stay away, but do not become physical with them. You're going to lose, and you're going to lose big time.
What sort of a response have you heard from the other law enforcement?
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with the letter I gave out earlier. Okay, the Philadelphia Police, and I have them to give out.
May I have a copy?
Yeah, but I have to have it back.
Oh, okay.
I promised people here that I'd have copies for them, and I only have so many copies.
But
basically, it's a letter from the Philadelphia Police Commissioner, the Fraternal Order of Police, the President, John McNesby. Philadelphia Police Commissioner threatens me, saying he orders me. Okay, I haven't worked for 8 years. I never even worked for him. But his ego is so tremendous, he thinks he can still order me what to do. Sorry, police commissioner, but he orders me to cease and desist what I'm doing. He also says that he will take any and all action to protect the integrity of the Philadelphia Police Department, implying that I'm destroying the integrity. Well, I cannot think of a more threatening statement than to say I will take any and all necessary action. You can't. And when you use the words any and all, no, and that's surprisingly, he's not. There's nothing, he is not citing. And what's very interesting, and you'll read in the letter is posted online. What's important is here, he's not citing any law, ordinance, or statute that I'm violating. And yet he still throws out these threats. That is so unbecoming of any law enforcement officer, let alone a police commissioner. What kind of example is he setting to his officers, his white shirts, that he can bully and intimidate somebody with no legal standing? It's unconscionable that he wrote me this letter. And then the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, John McNesby, he wrote me a letter and saying that they are the FOP board, which consists of about 10 board members. In his letter, he cites that a grievance was submitted by Henry Vanelli, the pension director. Now, what is the pension director filing a grievance for about me? Okay? Obviously, this is a form of intimidation that they can take away my pension. And so sending these two letters, one from the Fraternal Order of Police and one from the police commissioner, they expected the response that I would cower, I would slink away and go out of sight. Well, immediately upon receiving these letters, I released them to the New York Times and all other media. I don't like backing away from a bully. I don't like even to stand my ground against the bully. I like to step toward him. And that's what I did in putting out these press releases.
What would your message be to other law enforcement out there?
To think about what you're doing, think about what's really going on. And I would ask all law enforcement officers to watch this documentary, Inside Job. It's about corporate America. It's about the greed. It's so obvious, and it's extremely well documented. And I would challenge any police officer to watch this video and then come out and still support corporate America.
Well, thank you for your time, Captain.
Confirm your name for us, sir?
Yeah, it's Ray, R-A-Y, Lewis, L-E-W-I-S.
Thank you so much for everything you're doing, sir.
You were arrested before, weren't you, or detained briefly? What happened with that?
N17 in New York, is that right?
Yeah, November 17th in New York. Yeah, that was Occupy Wall Street for civil disobedience.
But just a few minutes ago, were you not being detained momentarily?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, over there, yeah. That was. They just wanted to make sure who I was, and also to make sure I was not carrying a weapon.
What's your message to other occupations, other occupiers around the country that they want to be here but can't be here today, sir?
That I'm with each and every one of you, and I plan to take a tour that I'll be stopping off at different occupations across the country.
San Diego would love to see you down there.
I would love to see San Diego.
How about Phil?
Are you worried about the militarization of the police?
Absolutely. Police should not be. We have a military. We don't need two militaries. So absolutely, that's a tremendous concern, and it's going heavily towards.
Do you think they need these new devices like HUMs and different things, or the sound devices and these new? Do you think those are really necessary in dealing with the crowd?
Well, if they were non-injurious, I would be for it. But supposedly they bust eardrums. And initially I was all for the tasers. That was just coming out when I was leaving. And I thought anything that prevents actual physical combat with somebody is beneficial. I went to a training class to show this taser in action. And they asked for volunteers. I didn't volunteer, but a few did. They were zapped, they totally immobilized them. They went down and they were able to handcuff real quickly, and then they got up. So I was impressed by that. But I've since learned that is not always the case, that there can be some real damage done through these tasers. Subsequently, they got to be reevaluated. But if those sound systems worked without injuring people, smashing people's eardrums, I would be for any type of a tactic that stops the physical hand-to-hand combat.